What's going on? This is Big G from G Ryders and welcome to another episode of Testing Rides. Today, I'm going to be testing out my 2014 Ford Fiesta Titanium hatchback. Welcome back to 2014 Ford Fiesta. Just before I get started, the only difference between this 2014 and the 2017 is the 2017 comes with Sync 3 and mine still has the My Ford Touch system. When this car was introduced in 2008, it was a quirky looking hatchback and sedan that nobody knew really what it was, but now it's became very popular among enthusiasts. So in 2009, the original body design, and it wasn't that great looking, it was really interesting looking, but here in 2014, which is the same year as mine here, they made this vehicle look a lot more like the other Ford products. So it got kind of the Aston Martin-y front grille, and it just made this car look way better looking. So what's really nice about this Ford Fiesta, it comes in a bunch of different, I would say, flavors. So you have your kind of cheap stripped out model, the S model, that is about $13,000 and comes with a manual transmission and really nothing else you don't need in a car. And then you also can get the 1.0 1-liter EcoBoost engine that gets 31 in the city, 41 out on the highway. And then if you want something a little bit faster, you could get the 1.6 turbo Fiesta ST, making about 197 horsepower. Mine has the 1.6 liter naturally aspirated inline 4-cylinder, making 120 horsepower and 112 foot-pounds of torque. So this vehicle weighs about 2,500 pounds. So because it's so lightweight, it gets a respectable 27 in the city and 37 out on the highway. Alright, so looping back around the pricing on these. So if you want just a basic stripped out Ford Fiesta for 2017 model year, it's going to cost you about $13,000, and mine, which is a titanium, will start you out at about $19,000. That's with the manual transmission and really no other options on it. Standard on the Ford Fiesta is the push button with the smart key system, a 6-speaker Sony sound system, the My Touch sync system with the backup camera and parking sensors, leather seats with heated leather inside, these cool 16-inch wheels that comes on here standard. These ones only come on the Ford Fiesta Titanium, and many other features. So since my car is the top of the line, it has a few options on it too. So the only options it has on it is the navigation system and the sunroof. So with all that standard equipment and 2 optional packages on here, this car comes in at about $22,000. All right, let's take a look inside. Inside the Ford Fiesta, it's a pretty nice place considering this is a subcompact car. Yeah, some of the plastics in here are pretty cheap. Like it's pretty hard up here. The dash is nice and soft, and the steering wheel has a nice feel to it. But you definitely can tell this is definitely the subcompact size car. So everything is laid out pretty nicely here. Like you have your pretty clear view of the gauges here. You have a pretty nice view of your screen here with, you know, your Bluetooth, backup camera, all that stuff. You have this nice gloss finish right here in the infotainment area. And you also have a gloss finish down here near the climate control. Heated seat buttons are on either side. Has a nice little leather wrap shifter here. But overall, you know, the seats are really nice. I don't think it's real leather, but it's about as close to real leather as you can get in a subcompact size car, especially for about $18,000-$19,000 for sure. It's pretty nice. But overall, I like this interior a lot. For a subcompact car, this car is definitely pretty nice quality, a lot better than the Sonic I just tested. Alright, let's see how the car sounds. Alright, let's see how the car drives. One thing I forgot to mention before I started the car up is only thing I've really done on this car is an exhaust delete, so that's why it's so loud. But I think it sounds pretty nice, actually. Just to have a muffler delete, we drop the window a little bit so you guys can really hear it. Not too bad at all. This car does offer some great sounds just by doing the muffler delete, and I think that's definitely has to do with this car kind of being engineered in Europe. It kind of has the European car crackle, and it's just so satisfying. But how does this car drive? This car drives really sporty, like really sporty, like so driving this car is like definitely driving like a little sporty car. Like when you go around corners, the body roll is not too bad at all. It just kind of plants itself and just goes around the corners. The steering is pretty light. I would like a little bit more feel in the steering, but for what it is, it's not bad at all. There's not too much road noise in here. I mean, there is a little bit of road noise, but this car only weighs 2,500 pounds. When you have a car that weighs 2,500 pounds, like what you would expect, you expect to have a little bit of road noise, you know? But again, like I said, for kind of how much this car costs and everything like that, it's not bad at all. The suspension is a little hard, I'm not gonna lie to you on that one. When going over bumps sometimes it could be a bit jarring. Like here in Portland, it just snowed a lot, maybe a few months ago now, but they haven't filled in a lot of the potholes, and whenever I hit one, it kind of hurts. It hurts me down to my back. But you know, that's not that big a problem because most of the time you're not going through potholes and things like that, so you don't have to worry about that. At highway speeds, this thing is really comfortable and really smooth. Like you just set your cruise control and you just go, and you don't get too tired at the end, because even though there's a little bit of road noise in this car, you could just turn the radio up and drown it out, and you won't worry about it or hear about it anymore. One also kind of cool thing about this car is the transmission. So if you didn't know about these, the automatics that come in these Ford Fiestas is a 6-speed power shift dual clutch transmission. So basically the dual clutch transmission is pretty similar to what they put in like the Golf GTIs. As you can kind of see, it's not the fastest dual clutch in the world, but it does work well, and it gives some really cool noises when you shift the gears, as you can hear right there. Listen. And I think it has to do with the dual clutch, is why the downshifts are so cool. So you put your foot on the brake a little bit, downshift. It's pretty fun, like. Because this vehicle has the dual clutch transmission and has kind of a European feel car, it doesn't feel like it's a subcompact car. It feels like it's something a little sportier than that. I wouldn't say this car is quite like a Fiesta ST or anything like that, but again, this is not quite like a Fiesta ST, because I'm sure I've never driven one of those, but I'm sure those things are ridiculously fun. But I definitely can kind of see the ground base work of where Fiesta ST can come out of this platform. Like, just this regular Ford Fiesta is so fun to drive. Like, it's so fun to throw this thing around, and I'm sure if it had some lower suspension on it, this thing can handle like it's on rails. And I just think Ford did a good job on this car. So also, if you didn't know, 2017 is the last production year kind of for this body style, the Mark 7 Ford Fiesta. Next year, 2018, it's going to be an all new one coming out. That's going to be more roomier, bigger, more, and just upgraded all around. And it's coming with a three-cylinder EcoBoost for the stock engine, making like 120 horsepower. And they haven't really released the torque numbers on that yet. So, and I can't wait to try one of those. Based on how much I like this car, I'm very excited for the next one to come out. The one thing I hope they do is I hope they leave the sportiness in it. I hope they make it just as sporty, just as stiff, just as fun to drive as this car is. I hope they won't kind of see how the Japanese or Koreans are doing the subcompact cars, and just stick to kind of how they've been doing it for this long, because it's, in my opinion, it's working, and I definitely would consider looking at the next Ford Fiesta, just based on how this one drives. If they leave the dual clutch transmission in, just figure out how to make it work a little bit better, that would be great. The only thing I think this car is missing, just to match its sportiness, is some paddle shifters. Like, if I had some paddle shifters in here, this car would be perfect to me. But I definitely like this car. And I'm very glad I bought this car over the Chevy Sonic. So if you enjoyed this video, give me a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and keep riding with me. Thanks for watching. Remember, go ahead and browse my channel, and we'll see you again. Peace out.